Hello, my name is Kevin Christensen, the host of this channel, Kevin Wonders, and I've been doing some reading about this guy, Thomas Kuhn. Um, not camped this idea, but he suggested that science really isn't as objective as it is touted to be. So he thinks this because instead of there being a gradual development of scientific ideas, he sees instead what he calls paradigm shifts. So there's drastic changes between 2 points. So you'll have an existing theory, and what he says is that as evidence, scientific evidence is espoused that contradicts the original theory, that that evidence is sort of put aside until it becomes so great that it can no longer be ignored. And then what happens is there's a drastic shift in the scientific mind that is characteristic of how things or how science develops over time. So he would expect there to be instead of that paradigm shift, he would expect there to be a gradual development of scientific ideas, so that as information is gathered, one idea is sort of like coaxed and guided into its fruition. And what's interesting is that when you think about this idea in combination with Haldane's dilemma, which was posed in 1957, and essentially Haldane's dilemma is just saying that from the time that humans and primates' common ancestors split, he gives a mathematical formula to develop how many possible changes could have happened between that time and then. And so given that there's like, people estimate roughly like 1,600 to 3,000 changes or mutations could have happened between that time and now, which is the question is like that dilemma is, can all these minute changes account for the differences between humans and primates? And so this dilemma hasn't really been accounted for in like especially the evolutionary science field. There was some talk of it in the early 90s, but for the most part it's just been put aside. But this is kind of interesting when you pair these things together. You see, like, you know, how much evidence is going to be allowed to sort of run against the current theory of evolution until it becomes so great that there will be that paradigm shift. So just something I've been thinking about. So